In the summary of major findings in the neighborhood recommendation section of the LCP, the #1 finding was that this area be rezoned as open space. Along with these violations of the LCP, your own planning commission found many reasons to deny this project. They found that the design was not sensitive to the lagoon, views from public places or surrounding neighbors, and that the proposed subdivision was incompatible with the existing and potential development on adjoining properties because of its greater height, bulk, and scale, and that it is not sensitive to the adjacent wetland habitat. They found the parking inadequate. They found that pedestrian access was not adequate. They found that the lagoon buffer was not adequate, and it should be larger than 100 feet.
This is as an entrance to Oceanside. This is an edge to the city, and it goes about five miles total further north. And it should start off at a fairly low density and work its way up into an urban core. This is more of an urban project located on the outskirts, and the scale and mass is such that it's really incompatible with the neighborhood development that's predominantly 1 and maybe 2 stories, but predominantly 1 story.
It clearly fits in. It's a commercially zoned spot. It's not going to have 1-story houses there. And you recognize that, but it actually does fit in with the differences in grade across the street. We took these photos of coming from Carlsbad, looking into Oceanside. We took out the utility lines because they're going to be undergrounded, and we put to scale the hotel in the picture. So it somewhat answers the question of, what's it going to look like? That's what it's going to look like. It does blend pretty well, and yet it's still sort of unique. It's not until you're on top of it that you see, yeah, okay, it's a bigger hotel. But it actually kind of goes in with the skyline there quite well.
The floor area ratio of this is at least 4 times what it is on adjacent parcels. And the setbacks from the highway are only 10 feet, which requires acoustic separation of all the balconies with 6-foot-high glazing and gasketing on all the doors and windows. So this architectural style that's presented on these elevations isn't really accurate to what's going to be required and ultimately built here to allow those units that close to this highway.
You talk about Pacific Coast Highway and some of the commercial developments there, but what you have adjacent to this site are residences, and they're very nice, and it's a quiet neighborhood. I don't see anything that adds to that quietness nor to the view. I am also concerned about the coastal bike trail that has come down and generally ends in that area.
People use it all day long. On a Sunday, we'll see 50 to 75 runners through the day. We'll see bike riders, people walking their dog all day, and the fishermen just love it. I mean, the fish in here are biting right now. They're pulling 8-pound bass out, and guys are coming down to the end of my street every day telling their fish stories, and I'm loving it. It's great. The people that use the park and they enjoy it as open space, and they're all appalled at the potential of development.
Well, this project has done a terrible job of protecting the public's right to access to the coast. Our city's local coastal plan talks about the long-standing fishermen use of the area and fishermen trails. That's an important beneficial use. And access to the coast and beach, which is a critical part of the Coastal Act.
As far as public access to the hotel itself, this project isn't really a hotel. It's what you would call a condo hotel. Most of the uses are quasi-residential, and our local coastal plan states that we are to reserve at least for about 400 rooms for low to moderate visitor serving uses. However, the city hasn't done that. In fact, we're also required to preserve 20% of our low to moderate cost visitor serving rooms as shorefront locations, such as this. However, this project denies access to people. Oceanside does not have enough low or moderate visitor serving uses, and this project will allow quasi-residential uses, which will exclude the public.
Now, coming down Coast Highway, we do realize that some views are blocked as you're driving just temporarily. There will be a short view through here, and then there will be preserved views through the buffer area, as well as enhanced views right now along the public pathway.
The view corridors are blocked. We have 2 named view corridors, one here on Broadway as well as the view corridor off Pacific Coast Highway that will be impeded seriously by this proposal. This view corridor that you presently see off of Broadway will be gone completely. The view corridor from Pacific Coast Highway will be compromised to the point where it will be unrecognizable that there is a lagoon situated so close to the Coast Highway until you're actually almost in it or on it. And again, these are view corridors that are listed as preserved and should be enhanced within our local coastal plan, not taken away from the public.